the Mexican alternative to the Panama Canal, a game changer with China's help? The Panama Canal has long been a linchpin of global trade, connecting the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans and facilitating the movement of goods between the Americas, Asia, and Europe. However, as global trade volumes increase and geopolitical tensions rise, the limitations of the Panama Canal, its capacity constraints, vulnerability to climate change, and dependence on U.S. influence, have become increasingly apparent. Enter the proposed Mexican alternative, a transoceanic corridor backed by China, which could reshape global trade dynamics and challenge the hegemony of the Panama Canal. This essay explores how this project, if realized, could be a game changer, while also delving into the darker implications of such a venture. Now, before we move on with the story, please help a small channel grow. Like and subscribe. It means a lot to me. Okay, back to the story. The Mexican alternative, a new trade artery. The proposed Mexican alternative, often referred to as the Interoceanic Corridor of the Isthmus of Tehuantepec, aims to create a land and sea route across Mexico's narrowest point, connecting the Gulf of Mexico with the Pacific Ocean. This corridor would include upgraded railways, highways, and ports, effectively creating a faster and more efficient route for goods moving between Asia and the Atlantic. Unlike the Panama Canal, which relies on a single waterway, the Mexican alternative would offer a multimodal transport system, potentially reducing congestion and increasing flexibility. China's involvement in this project is no coincidence. As part of its Belt and Road Initiative, BRI, China has been investing heavily in infrastructure projects worldwide, seeking to expand its influence and secure trade routes. By partnering with Mexico, China gains a strategic foothold in the Western Hemisphere, bypassing the U.S.-controlled Panama Canal and reducing its reliance on a single choke point for global trade. For Mexico, the project promises economic growth, job creation, and a chance to position itself as a key player in global trade. A game changer for global trade, reducing dependence on the Panama Canal. The Panama Canal, while a marvel of engineering, has its limitations. Its locks can only accommodate ships of a certain size, Panamax, and even after its recent expansion, it remains vulnerable to droughts and climate change. The Mexican alternative, with its multimodal approach, could offer a more resilient and scalable solution, diverting significant traffic away from the Panama Canal. Geopolitical shifts. The involvement of China in the Mexican project signals a shift in global power dynamics. By creating an alternative route, China reduces its dependence on US-controlled trade routes and strengthens its influence in Latin America. This could lead to a realignment of alliances, with countries in the region increasingly looking to China for investment and partnership. Economic opportunities for Mexico. The project has the potential to transform Mexico's economy, creating jobs, boosting infrastructure development, and attracting foreign investment. It could also position Mexico as a key logistics hub, rivaling Panama and other regional players. Environmental concerns. While the project promises economic benefits, it also raises significant environmental concerns. The Isthmus of Tehuantepec is a biodiverse region, home to indigenous communities and fragile ecosystems. The construction of railways, highways, and ports could lead to deforestation, habitat destruction, and social displacement, raising questions about the long-term sustainability of the project. The dark side of the Mexican alternative: trap diplomacy. China's involvement in the project raises concerns about debt trap diplomacy, a strategy where countries are lured into taking on unsustainable debt to fund infrastructure projects, only to cede control of strategic assets when they cannot repay. Mexico, with its history of economic instability, could find itself in a precarious position, beholden to Chinese interests. Geopolitical tensions. The project could exacerbate tensions between the US and China, as it directly challenges US influence in the region. The US has long considered Latin America its backyard, and the prospect of a Chinese-backed trade corridor could lead to increased competition and conflict in the region. social and environmental costs, the project's impact on local communities and the environment cannot be ignored. Indigenous groups in the Isthmus of Tehuantepec have already voiced concerns about land grabs, displacement, and the destruction of their way of life. The environmental toll of the project could also have far-reaching consequences, contributing to climate change and biodiversity loss. Corruption and governance. Mexico's history of corruption and weak governance raises questions about the transparency and accountability of the project. There is a risk that the benefits of the project could be captured by elites, while the costs are borne by the most vulnerable. Conclusion: a double-edged sword. The Mexican alternative to the Panama Canal, backed by China, has the potential to be a game-changer, reshaping global trade routes and challenging the dominance of the Panama Canal. It offers economic opportunities for Mexico and strategic advantages for China, while also addressing some of the limitations of the existing route. However, the project is not without its dark side. It raises significant environmental, social, and geopolitical concerns, and its long-term sustainability remains uncertain. As the world watches this project unfold, it is crucial to weigh the potential benefits against the risks. Will the Mexican alternative become a symbol of progress and cooperation, or will it be remembered as a cautionary tale of overreach and exploitation? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain: the stakes are high, and the implications are far-reaching. Please, like and subscribe.